Hello, everyone. Oh, the light's not on. One moment, please. One moment. One moment. Oh, it's still not light enough. You can't see me that well. It looks like a potato. Okay. Hold on, folks. Alright. Well, apparently my other plug isn't working, so let me do this real quick. Hold on, folks. You can still hear me. One moment. Alright, we got the light back on. Alright, so you guys can see me a lot clearer now. If I probably rotate the camera too. So that is me. Hello. And you're wondering why did I waste 45 seconds, if not 48 seconds to do that? And there's a very important point of we're going to have a very serious talk about my channel and what I'm doing with it and what I hope to achieve in the future. And that was kind of part of one of the things that I want to let know because I know the comment section is a rough place to deal with. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of things when it comes to online that you're just forced to be given with. And unfortunately, you're just having to smile through it while you hate every minute of it. And that's basically like service work. So, let me be clear. Look, if you want to give me a comment on my channel, right? Please let me know what the problem with the video is. If it's too dark, just let me know to turn on my light. Don't tell me that I'm working with a potato camera. I just see that and I just look at that as, wow, the person doesn't really care about my well-being. I work a hard job and I work a lot of hours to try to do things in life. And I'm struggling like every normal person. I'm not a fancy million billion dollar content creator. I'm not a Mr. Beast. I'm not a freaking Jacksepticeye or Markiplier. I'm not any of those people that have that kind of money. So I'm sorry that I don't, but I shouldn't be apologizing to the fact that this is what I have and this is what I work with. So anyway, the real point of the video. Uh it's been an interesting month. It's been this is just a serious conversation with my folks, my audience, and any newcomers. Hello, how are you? So I recently came back from New York Comic Con, and it was a decent experience. Um, there were great things about it. Unfortunately, there were things I didn't like, which I did want to discuss in the video. The problem I have is that unfortunately I'm finding out every year that people are being more cheap by the year. And you kind of find out by the raise in rents, the raise in food. I know this is something that people don't want to hear, but it's important to understand why people make content the reason why they do. It's because we have to pay our bills. We have to do this. And I know what someone says, get a better job! I've been trying to do that for years. If you want to offer one to me, then please do. But, I can only do what's given to me. And I guess if Survival Fittest wants to come in and end myself, then please do Survival the Fittest. Um, it's really hard to do content and to keep making money on this platform when you don't have the resources to make such things that you want to, and you have to just do what it is. So I got an interesting comment a while back, which I thought was interesting. They said to me, "Oh, here's how you can make better money, make better content." That made me laugh. And you understand why if it made me laugh. It made me laugh because the person decided to tell me to do my job better without actually explaining how to do it better. So, yeah, I can't operate that way. It's like, you look, I understand that half of life is a dice roll, but if we're gonna play the dice roll game, then I have to have a plan, and I can't have a plan when it comes to feedback when the person doesn't give me feedback. So don't tell me that you want my content to be better, but then not tell me anything. If you want to be like, Nick, I think your content would be better if you could play this game and do this. Okay, I'm willing to listen. Now, I don't have the budget for everything. So, I do really want to stay more on the Street Pass stuff. So I'm gonna go back to New York Comic Con very briefly, and let me tell you, I went to this convention on a shoestring budget. So what does that mean? That means, right, that I had help getting there. On top of that, I had help with a place to stay, and I had a very limited budget for only buying food. I didn't buy any art. I didn't buy anything. I bought nothing but something to eat and to drink. Now, unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way on Thursday that when I thought, being a panelist would at least give you access to VIP. Nope, they don't give you access to VIP. And they just they politely just look at you and they're just like, "We can't let you in." And you just look at them and you're just like, "But I'm part of the staff. I'm part to host the meetup." "Oh, well, you're just lucky to have your badge." What? So I host this meetup and I'm just free labor? And I have to tell you, like, the thing that's very difficult with New York Comic Con is I've seen it during its heyday, and it's been a great convention. It really has. And I was really trying to hold back some of my criticisms in that video because I really wanted to be more bright and positive and optimistic, even if it felt delusionally optimistic. And what you might ask, what do you mean by that? Well, unfortunately, that lack of VIP lounge meant that I couldn't charge things like my phone or my computer, so I had to have everything fully charged before going to the convention. Mind you, they're basically like reaching at this point. It's like the goalpost is being pushed, and I have to do more work on top of what I've already done. And it's like my back is like that, and it's like my back is giving out at this point, and I'm just like, oh my god. So I know people in the comment section are like, oh, he's complaining, he's just this, and it's like, let me ask you something. If you were in my spot, what would you do? Give up? So are you someone that loves Street Pass? Are you someone that wants to see this green light? Well, that's what the benefit of supporting me is, and that's why I'm trying to do this content. And it's very difficult, be a content creator and to do this when you don't get much support and you're trying your best to make good content and people just want to be like, "Oh, you're making great content, great." But then when you're struggling, they fling you the finger and it's like, "Well, what do you want me to do? I have job, I have responsibilities, I have to put food in my plate. It's not like I'm going to hit the lottery tomorrow. If that happened, yes, you would see more events and more of this and more of that. I can't do that with nothing. It's like, there are conventions I'm gonna have to pass on next year. This was a very difficult year for me. You might think like, oh, well, you did very well this year. Like, I'm really happy you thought I did well this year, but I'm struggling very hard to do this content in order to be able to make a living, if not better than that. But it's very bizarre when they're just like, maybe the people in the comment section can help me out, right? Like, I need to understand something. So when it comes to like making content and specifically trying to promote Street Pass and do this, why is it that we have people like Logan Paul and Mr. Beast or KSI, like they get to do what they want and like, yeah, they'll get the negative criticism, but they have buckets of money. Or Jack Doherty getting $300,000 and me just trying to do an earnest job and I'm getting garbaged on. Does that make any sense to you? Doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, finishing up with the New York Comic Con experience. The last day I was there, I did my meetup, and I really just wanted some water, like a cold bottle of water. And I wanted some food, and I didn't have any money. Let me tell you, I spent the last $2 I had on a breakfast sandwich on Saturday. So that means that on Saturday night, when they had the Life is Strange meetup, that was the last food that I had at the convention. That's it. So, I really tried hard. I dug deep to go through that meetup with my head hurting and dehydration and no water and kind of crying on the inside while hosting this meetup. And yeah, it was not easy. So I got through it. I did my tags and everything and I smiled through it. Then I go to the VIP lounge hoping maybe it's someone else is there. Nope. It's the same person from Thursday. And you can imagine what they told me the same thing. They said, no, we will not give you access to the lounge. Screw you. You're no any better. They were even nastier this time. And no matter what I said, I basically got garbaged on again. And I'm just like, it's really hard for me to go into this convention. I'm really sorry, guys, but like, how much more do you want me to go through to try to be a person that loves Street Pass, to love this? It's like, okay, we have to also get the elephant out of the room. Okay. So on Twitter, right, there is there are people constantly promoting Street Pass, and look, that's great. I'm really happy about that. But let's be upfront here. I had how many panels this year? I had 3 panels, 2 at PAX, 1 at SoCal Gaming Expo, and at the end of the day, right. So if I'm doing this for Street Pass, how is this one tweet helping with Street Pass when I've done all of this stuff and it hasn't been noticed? So I'm really trying to have a serious conversation here, but like, I really just find the duality of the internet very strange and bipolar. It's like, so when you're trying to have a conversation with your audience and you let them know that something's a problem, they just finger gas you, and it's like, look, I'm just trying to make content. I think that's understandable, okay? Like, when is it that like some people that are so big and so successful they have no breaks. They've been going on for years. And I've been going on for years and no one's been like, "Nick, good job. Nick, way to go." It's just, "Nick, why are you still on this platform? Nick, why are you still doing this?" And it's like, I'm doing this because I want to. Now, prior this year on Discord, I had to nuke the Discord and I had to re-establish Discord. Now, here's the thing about Discord, right? So when you make a Discord, you make rules, you make things. Now, the reason why I had to nuke the prior Discord is because some of those people didn't follow the rules. And if you don't have rules, then you don't have order and structure. Now, if you want an exception to the rule, I'm all for the exception, but the exception has to fit, right? The thing about the exception isn't the rule is the exception. That's how that works. So when I had someone come into my Discord and they were constantly promoting their content in the wrong tab, they were promoting not their content, but other people's content. And I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And then the worst of it was I had someone constantly promote a bunch of social justice stuff. And it's like, look, I'm really happy that you're promoting these things, but this is no place in our group. This group is about gaming. This is about playing video games. If your conversation is about The Legend of Zelda, go ahead, talk about The Legend of Zelda. If it's about Street Pass, then go ahead. But I don't want to hear about the election. I don't want to hear about all this other stuff. Yeah, I understand they're important issues, but they're not important issues in this Discord. How would you feel if you went to a restaurant or let's say a cafe and you're like, "Hi, what can I get for you?" And their menu is most about coffee and croissants. And you're like, "I'd like a pizza." And then they just look at you funny and they're like, "We don't have pizza." And they just repeat again. And this is the person that I had to kick out of the group. "I want a pizza." And then I have to repeat myself the second time. And then they just get rude and violent. And then you're just like, now what do I do here? Like, now this is just making me uncomfortable and I don't want to be in this spot. So it's like I have to endure something that I don't want to have to, but I have to get my paycheck in the week. And so I have to deal with this curmudgeony, horrible person because they just want to have something that I can't provide for them. And it's like, I'm really sorry, but this is what our establishment is. And if you want to go, then maybe use, I don't know, your phone to go look up a pizza place, but don't come to the coffee. And it's like, if you want to talk about Street Pass in the Street Pass Discord, great. But if you're talking about something that's not related, then you're either going to be warned or blocked, and that's how it has to happen. And um, I'm really trying my hardest to be a content creator, but it's really sad when some people hate losing so much they'll throw their fan base and be like, "LMFO, 27 replies!" And I saw that and I was just like, so let me understand this. I did nothing wrong. I just wanted to compete. But the bottom line is that basically, if I want to compete in a competition, I have to take records from people without talking to them. Really? That's how this has to be done? We can't have a normal civil conversation. I basically can play certain like mind games and turn into a Regina George and like what is the internet coming to? It's like goddamn people like can we have a normal civil conversation? Can we have a normal civil conversation? Is what I'm asking. So, look, I understand that a lot of things are volunteer and people have to do it out of the goodness of their hearts, but there comes a point where the passion becomes into the line of delusional. and I have to ask myself if something is worth it. And if it's not, then I have to just start opening my mouth and saying things that I know people don't want to hear. Because if I don't, and I don't voice myself, then people just like act on it like, oh, there was no problem. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to basically just not say anything and let you do whatever you want and just basically be like, oh, okay, I guess it's fine. I don't want to do that. And I'm very thankful that I was able to do the conventions and everything I was this year. That was great. But I really just want people to be supportive. And I want people to be supportive in a way that gives feedback that's respectful. Now, when you say something like, your camera's potato, fix it, that's an insult. That's not feedback. But when you say, the room is a bit dark, could you turn on the lights? That was the point I was making in the beginning of the video, folks. So I try to do the best that I can every day. And when someone gives rude insults and they don't understand or they don't ask me why I did something and they just expect me to do it, it's like, well, that's just rude. So if I could do things the way that other people could do it, sure, I would. Of course, if I could have millions and billions of dollars like Mr. Beast or Rosanna Pansino or all of these other people, sure, I would. Um, I don't have access to that money, and you have to understand that not all content creators are created equally. Some grew up and hit the lottery, and others have been struggling for over 13 or so years trying to make some kind of progress. And, some of us don't want to give up because that's really like one of the joys in our life. And for people to be put down like that, it's kind of sad and showing that we have a society still have a long way to go to really do better. A lot better. A lot better. So I don't know what else more there is to say. Guys, I want constructive feedback. I want people to tell me what it is they want to see better. And not just say, well, play this game or do this or do this. Like, hey, I have a really good idea for your content. And then they go into explanation and I'll listen to them and I'll give them, then there'll be a conversation. But I don't want someone to say, make better content. If your response to me is to make better content and you don't explain on how to make it better, then I can't do that. This would be like if I walked into a restaurant. I'm going to use the restaurant analogy again. I walk into the restaurant. This coffee sucks, and I throw it back in their face. What do you think their response is going to be? Do you think they're going to want to listen to you? No, they're not. Let's say if I go in and I'm like, okay, what do I like about my coffee? I like my coffee to be hot. Okay, I like there to be a certain amount of milk. I like there to be certain sweetener in it. I don't want to be too bitter, and I want it to have a certain punch to it. Okay, so let's take those notes right there. That you're watching my content, and those are the notes you said, and then you take those notes, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is what I have to work with. Okay, well, this is what I know that you can do with this that you have, and this is how you can make it better. So instead of being like, A plus X equals Y, you could be like A plus B equals C, if that makes any sense. So I'm really trying to understand how to be a better content creator, and I think that partially goes with the viewer as well. And look, people can make content that people watch, and they'll watch it unconditionally because it's what they like, right? But the thing is, like, the reason why I love making my content is to share my experiences with Street Pass and to do other things as well, but mainly with Street Pass. And I just really wanted Street Pass to have a resurgence this year. And it had a pretty good resurgence considering all things considering. But, at the end of the day, I just laughed. There was a video that was released this year about someone's experience, their 2023 experience with Street Pass. And I love one of the comments that while it was not very the nicest, it was the most true content. They basically said that they had to go on the circuit. So meaning that they had to go on a list of conventions in order to basically get Street Pass X. And unfortunately that's the case. Now Net Pass has been a thing, and we have other things that are doing great too. But at the end of the day, there's just certain joy about being able to have a group gathering and have people come together and have Street Pass. Yeah, I'd love this to be spontaneous and I'd love to go out and not have to tell people to bring it with them. But there's something about having a major a major event and have a gathering. I really hope Comic Con does better next year with accommodations. I really say that because I expected a little better from them. There were problems with trying to find the meetup location. That was a doozy. Like, and I had nothing to work with. I had nothing. I really wanted more from the meetup, but I did what I could, guys. I had like the bare minimum is like a 9 to 5 of just showing up. And it's like, that's great for like, again, like if this is a tier list, I'm like, we're here, I want to get to here. It's like, how can we get from here to here? It's like, can you guys help me? Can you guys support my content? Could you play the content? Could you help get me the revenue that I need in order to do better, at conventions? I'm gonna try hard on my end. I'm gonna do what I can, but I can only meet halfway when I don't have enough on the other end. And if I have to go to the point of like 90% to 10%, that's going to be tough. And I really ask that my viewers try to help me out better. And it's like, I'm not asking, like, if you want to give whatever you can, great. I'm not expecting that. But, like during the pandemic, I had support. I had people giving things and things for the Animal Crossing, and that was great. I just really wish that it could have been better. And I wish that it could have been, you know, more helpful and push me in a better direction. But unfortunately, life's directions always likes to push you down when you have to get back up again, over and over and over, and it's exhausting. Let me tell you, folks. But anyway, that was my serious talk with you, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. I really hope to keep doing uh, to be doing Street Pass content, and I really want to play Monster Manor, and I really want to play Warriors Way, Monster Manor, and Battleground Sea. Those are the two that I want to focus on. So I have to figure out how to mingle that in for Let's Play content. It's tough because my XSplit doesn't always work on this computer. So it's like, mind you guys, I'm dealing with a lot of negatives, and I'm just asking for someone to be positive. And it's like, I'm gonna be the best positive I can, but I can only like go through all the negatives to be positive. That I'm burned out. I'm done. I'm done. So but anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.